What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. I'm your host, Big Cam. Today is episode 67. It is June 2nd, 2023. Another beautiful Friday, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse comes out today. Don't know if I'll go see it, but maybe this weekend, but we'll talk more about that in a second. Obviously, the last time I talked to you guys was right before Celtics Game 7, and I was very hopeful that the Celtics would be in the NBA Finals right now, but instead, I am sad. Yes, Deuce, I agree. Mr. Jason Tatum comes down hard on his ankle, and you can see from this image here, that ankle is gone. You're right. Like, to me, I would have been in tears, rolling on the ground. Instead, this man played the entire game grimacing in pain. He'd be going up the court, he'd be in pain. He was so frustrated that he's come this far again. He's made it to the Game 7 of an Eastern Conference Finals. He's one game away from the NBA Finals, and he blows out his ankle in the first play of the game. Like, he is so upset. I understand your pain, JT, and I understand the pain of the Celtics, and it's very, very sad that our season is over. But hey, we had a rookie coach, you know, Joe Mazzulla's first year. What the first and only thing we shouldn't do is panic. We are fine. We got to keep JT and JB, keep our unit strong, keep the boys. Those two are our building blocks. We build around them. Those two together are awesome. I do love the Jays together. I do think we're probably going to lose Peyton Pritchard. He deserves more minutes, so he'll probably go start on a team elsewhere. You know, as far as point guards go in the league, he's a very good point guard, but he hasn't been getting minutes enough on the Celtics. So I understand. We can only play 5 at a time, you know, and you got people like Rob Williams, Grant, you know, Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser's one of the best shooters I've seen on the Celtics team, and he's not even getting minutes because we can only play 5. You got JB, JT, Smart, Derek White deserves minutes, Rob Williams deserves minutes. Oh wait, Al Horford's a vet, he deserves minutes. Like Brogdon, you know, like we got a lot of players, and we still got people like Danilo Gallinari. So I think we maybe lose Grant, we maybe lose Peyton Pritchard. But Grant is also a very good friend to JB and JT, so maybe the Jays want him around, so who knows. All I'm saying is that I think we should keep the boys. Congrats to Jimmy Butler and the Heat. They advanced. They do lose the first game against Denver, at Denver, so, and Jokic is a very good player. So I don't know, I think this playoffs, to me, I think it's going Jokic. I just think he's been playing unbelievable this playoffs. I do think it would have been a different story if it was against the Celtics, but Celtics had a tough time versus that 8th seed Miami Heat, and that Miami Heat boys played real well. So, I don't know. I don't think we should panic. I mean, Jason Tatum's 25, and he's already top 50 in all-time playoff points. So, you know, he's already in the list of greatest players to ever do it, and he's barely even touched the surface. So, I mean, 26, JB is going to be 27, and they're going to be heading into what, their 4th or 5th, maybe 6th year on the team, on the Celtics. Like, they're building, and I believe next year is really the year. Last year we lost in the finals. This year we lose in a Game 7 Eastern Conference Final. I think next year, as long as we stay angry and we come in like we did this year. I mean, Joe Mazzulla didn't get a training camp. He got thrown into the fire because of Ime. Ime goes to Houston. Ime steals all of his coaching staff. His assistant head coach takes a job in college. Like, Joe had no help. And it's not Joe's fault. But the Celtics as a team need to rally around Joe, need to do the work this offseason. We come back next year. Danilo, we finally get him some minutes. Brogdon, we get Smart. We got all the boys. I think we play 7 or 8 strong all year. Like in a solid rotation, 7 or 8 people, you know, but some teams are only playing 5 or 6. I think we need about 7 or 8, you know, keep the legs fresh. As long as we're running and the other team isn't, we gotta focus more on fast breaks. I hate to see the Celtics get the ball and dribble up the court and dribble out the shot clock and then throw up a 3 and then miss. It's like, we only shoot well when we're shooting wide open shots in rhythm. Move the ball, get an open shot, find the open man, shoot the three, right? Like, I don't want to see anyone pulling up for three unless your name's Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. And even so, in that last game, what did Jaylen Brown go? Like 8 for 23 in his last game. Like, he had 8 turnovers. He just played very, very bad in Game 7. I don't know what was up with him. And Rob Williams was apparently sick with a stomach bug, and we all know what happened to JT. So, I don't know, my poor Celtics, but this will be the last time I talk about them until next season. So I know some of y'all are probably ecstatic that I'm done talking about the Celtics. But I don't know, maybe there'll be some off-season news that we'll talk about. But from here on out, it's going to be just movies and shows and video games and life stuff and what's going on around the world. But also stay tuned on Monday. I believe I have a special guest coming, and it's going to be a very special episode. So stay tuned for that. But last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and the box offices had a bunch of movies, right? Like Fast 10 came out. The Guardians is still in. Little Mermaid came out. Sebastian Maniscalco and Burt Kreischer's comedy movies came out. The Machine and About My Father. I went and saw The Machine. I did think it was really well. I don't think it did very well in the box office considering what else was in the theaters with it. But over the Memorial Day weekend, Guardians still made 26 mil, and it's like in its, third or fourth week at the theaters. So Guardians still making money. Fast X made 28 mil, and blowing them out of the water, Little Mermaid made 121 mil over Memorial Day weekend. So, yeah, apparently little girls are going to see that one. But June is going to be a huge month. Obviously today, June 2nd, we have Across the Spider-Verse coming out. I gotta go see that. June 9th, we have the Transformers movie. June 16th, we have the Flash movie. I believe we also have Asteroid City. Out on Netflix, we're going to have Extraction 2. I'm excited to see all those. And then June 30th, we got the Indiana Jones 5. All 4 of the Indiana Jones movies just dropped on Disney+, so I'm going to be able to rewatch those before go see Indiana Jones, The Dial of the Destiny. Has been getting bad reviews, but I think Harrison Ford's cool, and I like the first 2 Indiana Joneses. I don't believe I've seen all of them. And then years later, I saw 4, which had Shia LaBeouf in it, and I saw Transformers 1 in theaters when I was a kid. Shia LaBeouf was one of my favorite actors when I was a kid because he was young, and he was like one of the first actors I saw on screen as a young guy, as a young kid seeing it, so I really like Shia, and we watched movies like Disturbia when we were younger, and Disturbia was a creepy movie, but a very, very good movie. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. But Flash coming out June 16th. I really like Ezra Miller as the Flash, but Ezra Miller as a person is pretty problematic. So we all know who the real Flash is. This is my Flash, right? Animated Flash is the guy. This is probably the best Flash to date. I'm sorry for the CW Flash. I heard he was pretty good, but the CW in general does not put out good quality shows. And anyone that thinks differently, like my mother and sister, you're a bunch of fucking idiots. Idiots. Stupid. For thinking that show is worth any second of your time. Oh, it looks so bad. Every time I've walked by as they're watching it, I'm like, look at this CGI. Look at this. It looks terrible. It looks like low budget ass. Like, just looks terrible, man. But a bunch of shows just finished recently. So, moving on from movies for the second. A bunch of shows just finished recently. Ted Lasso Season 3 season finale. The Succession series finale. Those both ended recently. And I gotta say, The Succession, if you guys haven't seen that, is very, very good. The ending stuck the landing for me. Some people thought it was anticlimactic. But for me, I thought it was like, it was the culmination of all the things you've been watching. Who's about to get the succession? Who is the seat? And of course, it ends the way it ends. It not necessarily the way you expected it, but maybe the way some people expected it. I don't know. All I'm saying is Cousin Greg and Tom Wamsgans reign supreme. They're my boys. Those were my favorite characters. Roman was a great character. Logan Roy was a great character. And I really liked that show. It made me laugh much more than I thought that show was going to. So I really appreciate that show. Also, Ted Lasso is the most beautiful show. Like, it's just all 3 seasons have a wonderful story arc, a wonderful show, story getting told, a funny show, but heartfelt at all the same points, and beautiful writing. That show is written so fucking well. And honestly, I think they might be setting up a spin-off at of some sorts. So I don't know. Maybe Ted Lasso it is spinning off. Maybe it's going to have a 4th season. Who knows? I'm excited for either of those. And, you know, we got some more shows coming up. So we got things like Secret Invasion coming up. Oh, Power Book 2 Season 3 finale just happened as well. So that happened. That ended great. Tommy came back. So now they're even more so setting up Power Book 4 Season 2 for Tommy. There's just so, it's a mouthful of a title, but I promise you, Ghost, the book 2 is fantastic, and Force, book 4 is fantastic. Are they better than the Power show? I'd say equally as good, you know, because they went from Power, right? They had, what, 6 seasons of Power. That original Power show is unbelievable. I might even rewatch it. It's so good. Then you go to Power Book 2, and that's like the continuation with the Sun. You know, the whole Sun story from Power continues right into book 2. Book 3 is the prequel, and book 4 is the continuation of Power, but Tommy's story, and he goes to Chicago, and then you see him intertwine into book 2, but he's also in book 4. So book 4 also announced recently that they're going to be coming out with their next season, September 1st, so shout out to Tommy. And then what else is going to be on? We've got Secret Invasion coming up in June, the big month for everything. I can't wait to see another Marvel show. We've been waiting for the Marvel Disney Plus shows. So, Secret Invasion I think is going to be awesome. Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson, you know, that motherfucker is great. So, gotta love him. And also, I've seen a picture floating around Twitter recently of this, the Max original Snow, a Game of Thrones story, following Jon Snow. You know, so I wouldn't be mad at that either. And more Game of Thrones stuff. House of the Dragon was dope, you know, so I'm real excited about that. But let's talk about Across the Spider-Verse. I just recently watched Into the Spider-Verse again, and that movie's so freaking beautiful. Like, when Miles gets his black suit, he looks so good. When he does this dive off the buildings, and he's like upside down, falling into the city, and they invert it, so it looks like he's like taking a leap of faith. Like, oh, he's got his Jordans untied. Like, he's just so uniquely Brooklyn and dope. Like, oh, it might be my favorite Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man No Way Home is pretty freaking awesome, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse might beat it out. They're both 5-star movies in my opinion, but Into the Spider-Verse might beat it out. But hey, who knows? Across the Spider-Verse might take that title, so I'll let you guys know Monday when I maybe go this weekend and watch some movies. I do got to see Fast X. I do got to see the Across the Spider-Verse, so who knows? But also, Sony announced recently that Miles Morales, this is the picture from the Spider-Man PlayStation 5 Miles Morales video game. I do like this kid that played him in the game, and I do think he did a great job. But they are announcing that they're doing a live-action Spider-Verse, and the guy that voices Miles, Shameik Moore, in Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, has already thrown his hat in the ring. He said, hey, I think I'd be a great live-action Miles Morales. So who knows, maybe they'll let him voice it and just be the Miles and animated for a while. But I would love to see Shameik Moore come into live action and be Miles Morales. Like, I think that'd just be cool as fuck. Plus, we really need a live action Miles, you know? Like, it's just overdue. But hey, Gwen Stacy, she's one of my favorite, with Haley Steinfeld, oh, she's one of my favorite characters too. But also Oscar Isaac's one of my favorite actors right now, and he's playing Spider-Man 2099. So that movie just looks so good. I think it's going to be wild. There's, you know, Spider-Verse, multiverse stuff. So I really don't know what to expect. I know the Spot's going to be in it, so some crazy stuff happening. But comment below, will you be going to see Across the Spider-Verse, out now, June 2nd, exclusively in theaters? And comment below, did you see the first one, Into the Spider-Verse, in theaters? Somehow, some way, I missed it. And it was just all of a sudden out on TV one day, and I was watching, and I was like, how have I never seen this? Like certain movies I missed in theaters, and I have no idea how I missed it. Because, like, how did I miss the trailers? How did I miss the announcements? Like, how did I miss certain movies that I'm like, this is really good? Like, how did I not see this in theaters? Other than, like, Dune Part 1. I had the chance to see Dune Part 1 in theaters, but it was also coming out, I believe, the same day on HBO Max, and they stopped really doing that. Dropping stuff immediately on HBO and in theaters. For a certain while, I was like, watching stuff at home so much better, but there's really nothing like seeing it on a ginormous screen. And just like when you sit down in that movie theater and the lights go dark and this ginormous screen lights up and the music's so loud, you forget that you're on your phone and you start hearing the laughs and the murmurs and the audience like reacting to the movie, and they're reacting the same way you are, and it's like, oh, this movie's making us all feel something. Like, movies in general are just magic, you know, like they're like live magic, you know, like, you know, you go to a magic show and the guy's like, look over here, but really it's over here, like pull a cat out or a rabbit out of a hat type shit, you know. It's a magic trick. It's like catching lightning in a bottle, you know. Movies will forever be something that I watch and feel something and just step into a world. Like, my imagination's too controlling. Some people watch a movie and they don't identify as the characters. Like, I watched Harry Potter and I could not help but to see myself as Harry Potter, you know. So all the way through the Harry Potter movies, I identify as Harry, you know, and at different parts I identify as different characters. Sure, I'll identify as Neville Longbottom, you know. So there's certain parts of me that identify as certain things, but you know, most of the time I see myself as the character, you know. So I identify with Miles. He has problems with his dad and his mom. He's hiding things. He's, you know, like I can feel and relate somehow to their experiences to my own life. And then eventually, if there's a really emotional moment for this character in the movie, I feel those emotions too. Like, lately, probably in the last 3 or 4 months, everything I watch, actually ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, everything I watch is making me cry, and like I just feel the emotions for it. But honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I don't think it's shameful to say. Like, a grown man should be able to cry and go on with his day, you know, like, especially if he's feeling something. Like, feelings are not a problem. And what did Jimmy V say? I said it in a couple videos back, but the late great Jimmy V is a genius, and what he said, and I will always live by this message, and I'm going to close it out with this today, is that every single day you should think, you should laugh, and you should have an emotion move you to tears. And if you can do that, that's a heck of a day. So I hope all of you have a beautiful day and have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next episode of Comically Boston. All my links will be down in the description below. Check me out on Letterboxd, Twitter, Instagram, all the links in my description. So click those, check those out. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell if you don't want to miss any future videos, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.